Ah, shit. Oh, hey.
Wake up.
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Mother Living Geek Nation? You're currently tuning into the CultPop podcast Minus One, episode number 54, a show where we talk about movies and comics and TV and breaking news and hailing the meep again and all the other things that scratch your nerdy itch. I'll never stop hailing the meep in case you were curious. We're coming to you live from Young Junk HQ.
Young Junk.
A bomb-ass podcast production space in Philadelphia, PA.
Was that not how you wanted it?
It's not how Len did it.
Can we start again?
Okay, Young Junk HQ.
Young Junk.
No, it's not.
Can you?
Young
Are you
Junk.
capable of going higher?
Oh, I could, but I'm not going to be able to do. Right? You can't just do the thing that was already done.
Sure.
Right?
Oh, you're trying to he's rebranding.
Do it different. All right. Do it again.
Okay, Young Junk HQ.
Young Junk.
That's the
It's
same
not
thing you
high.
just did.
Young Junk.
There it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm your kaiju killing host, Johnny Destructo of Johnny Destructo's Hero
That would be
Complex.
cool. JD, point at both of us.
Okay, hold on. All right. Young Junk HQ.
Young Junk.
Perfect.
That was cool.
I don't know if that was perfect. That felt-
We
Let's
can
do it.
we'll
I think
workshop it.
we could probably
30 more
harmonize a little
times.
bit.
Young Junk.
Listen, I have a comic book
Young
store. It's called
Junk.
Johnny Destructo's Hero Complex.
Johnny.
You should come to it. And that
Yeah.
was like Noel. I mean, that was like Len, because he'll just do it at random bits. Listen, come to the shop. We will sell you comic books and T-shirts and art and board games. With me tonight is Noel
Hey,
and Brian.
I'm
Hi.
here. I'm here all day.
Also
Young
in the
Junk.
booth,
I actually sleep
most
here.
importantly
Young
in the
Junk.
booth
Young
is
Junk.
our trusty producer, Dylan the Great. Remember, if anything goes wrong, Dylan did it. Aw. Please
Can you give us your version of Young Junk?
Okay, hold on. Young Junk HQ.
Young Junk.
That's better.
That was good.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
was
like
good.
that was too high.
Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, get here in the chat like Robert Monroe Jr., who says to us, "What's up, Cult Poppers? Looking forward to your review of Godzilla Minus One. I've heard nothing but great things about it."
Well, it's not going to change tonight.
Yeah, you're gonna hear some more
Yeah,
great things
that's
about
weird.
it.
It's-
Spoiler alert. It
You may
sucked.
hear neutral things also.
It's
It's
true.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just aspects of it that are just about the movie.
Like the credits.
Yeah. It has credits. That's a neutral
Yeah.
thing about Godzilla. And you've heard it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That section was our intro, and I feel like it was awful. And I
Young Junk.
apologize. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to up our game for our next segment, which I lovingly call "What You Been Up To This Week." And then I'm going to do that thing right now. Hey Brian,
What's up?
what you been up to this week? Huh?
Huh. JD, I'm glad that you asked.
Thank you.
I was watching a movie in a movie theater.
Was it called Dream Scenario?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it from A24?
Yeah, I think so.
Was it directed by Christopher Borgli, starring Nicolas Cage?
It was starring Nicolas Cage. I don't have any information contesting the director. I don't know who directed it.
Is it about a family
Probably
man
that person.
finding his life turned upside down when millions of strangers suddenly start seeing him in their dreams? However, when his nightmare appearances take a nightmarish turn, he's forced to navigate the consequences of his newfound stardom?
It depends on what you mean by upside down.
Not right side up.
Oh, then yeah.
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 Tell us about Dream Scenario and
So
your
anyway,
opinion thereof.
It was about a family man whose life was turned upside down by.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In West Philadelphia.
Yeah. It was in
and raised.
Philadelphia.
Is it really?
I think. Wait, was it?
I
Was
was
that something else that I was
making
watching?
a terrible.
In West Philadelphia, born and
Born and
raised,
raised, yeah.
where I
Playground
spent
is
most
where
of my
he spent most of
days.
his days.
Yeah.
He didn't spend a lot of days on the playground, if any. In
Well,
this
he's a
movie.
professor, so maybe
The playground at the
early,
college.
Yeah, early in
Yeah.
his career, early in his teaching career, he may have had to.
Oh, he's like a
check
cool,
recess.
and he was like English lit or physics or whatever I teach is like this,
Sure.
and he would throw the ball, and he
Yeah.
really got in. He got to them. That's not part of this movie.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good. It was interesting. It was a very interesting approach to a story where this incredible event happens. He starts appearing in people's dreams, and then somehow it comes out that he's been in multiple people's dreams, and it then becomes a lot of people's dreams. He has no idea why this is happening.
Is it all the same dream or just
No.
Okay.
He is not even really part of their dreams, especially in the beginning. He's there, and he interacts with them, and he does nothing, and this bothers him.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like, why? But he's this, it's a different sort of role that Nicolas Cage plays. He's very much in this character, like a, I don't know, downtrodden, sort of convictionless man in a way, and he's
a schlub.
Yeah, he's a schlub, and he's bothered by the fact that he doesn't do anything in these people's dreams, and he doesn't know what's happening. And did you guys see Uncut Gems?
No.
Yes.
It was an interesting movie, and it reminded me, not in plot anyway, but kind of the way that there is something going on in these movies. It's not ever really explored. And like they talk about the idea, but what it is definitely not explored. And it's really treated as a almost not, it is the focus, but it's very difficult to put into words. It's almost like this regular story wherein he appears in people's dreams, right?
Okay.
And it's this event that happens, and people are like, why is this happening? This is weird, but not like too much is made of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It sounds as though it's not about the why, it's about the people it's happening to.
Yeah, and they don't even
you have
really
to be okay
delve-
with not getting answers.
Yeah, like
And that's
the
fine.
mechanism is certainly not part of it, but even more than that, it's like strangely this like kind of almost real life type of story. It's approached like that, where this thing is happening, and the effects of it are certainly like the main focus of the movie. But
Well, like a
it's-
slice of life story where something fantastical is happening.
Yeah, but it's so hard to describe.
Okay.
That's why
Did
I
you
related
like
it to
it?
Uncut
Did you
Gems.
like it?
Yes, it was interesting. Tamara liked it a lot. I thought it was good. His appearance, as it says, turns negative at some point, and he begins actively participating in these people's nightmares. And it is similar, I think, what they were going for, but I'm not sure, is like memes, right? Which somehow enter the public consciousness. That was the original meaning of the word meme, was like the smallest amount of an idea, right? That would spread. And so they enter the public consciousness, and then the meaning of them evolves or changes, and it was never really directly addressed. But
Interesting.
I think that I saw a parallel with that.
Okay, yeah. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very interesting type of this quality that I'm having such a difficult time
you
defining.
rarely have this much trouble.
Yeah. Well, yes, it was like almost a magical realism, but without the sort of wonderment that it had a harder edge
Interesting.
than that. So there you go.
I'm certainly curious about it. I've seen a handful of Nicolas Cage films in the past year, and so
And you've been enjoying them.
I have.
And this
which
is
weird
very,
for me.
like I said, like he acts very differently in this movie.
He doesn't Nicolas Cage his way through it.
No, unless you define that as just being Nicolas Cage and doing
No,
things.
it's
You
a very
don't.
specific thing
Then no.
that he does. Yeah.
No, he definitely doesn't, actually. And you know what? The more I think about it, it's the wonderment. There was none in this movie. And it's an interesting thing for a movie about a guy who's in people's dreams to take.
Interesting.
Very little even
Okay.
pontification upon the meaning by them.
Weird.
Yeah,
All right. I'll check it out maybe when it hits streaming or something.
maybe.
Yeah. Hey, Noel,
Nah.
what you been up to this week? Huh?
I've been reading comics.
I love that.
So, there's a specific character in comics that seems to always be at the ire of some fandoms.
Is it the Red Skull who's a literal Nazi?
No. It's
Is it the Joker who's like a mass murderer and he
No,
like,
that
beats
would-
children to
that
death
would
with a
make
crowbar?
sense.
People love that guy,
So many
actually.
people seem
Yeah.
to like blame this character for being like a shrill and unfun altogether and terrible. And I read their comics and I'm like, what are they reading? Oh, they must not actually be reading it. And that's Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've been reading the Captain Marvel by Kelly Thompson omnibus. It's available in omnibus as well as complete collections, trade paperbacks. And it's
What's an omnibus?
an omnibus is a large, oversized hardcover of multiple issues. So it's I
They're
think
great.
the first volume is 25 issues and then a 5-issue miniseries. So it's meaty. It's incredibly fun. It's very funny. It's an incredibly charismatic story with awesome cast. I read this and it's wonderful, and I don't understand people talk about how she doesn't have any good comics. she's dry as a cardboard and isn't good. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me. They're wonderful superhero comics.
Nobody had a problem with Captain Marvel, the comic book character, until Brie Larson had opinions, from what I remember. No one really talked about Captain Marvel, but it wasn't until the movie happened and Brie Larson hit the scene that all of a sudden the character herself, like you can't even see an article on Facebook featuring the character without like a bunch of laugh emojis and a bunch of incels crying about it.
Well, they get to keep having the argument that they enjoyed having when the movie came out.
Yeah.
The same points, they can just keep bringing them up. They found that they liked having that fight or declaring those opinions, and this allows them to just keep going.
Yeah, it's immature.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, they weren't even like. Also, I think Kelly Sue DeConnick gets a lot of heat also because she's, I guess you can call her like the modern Carol. Like she's the creator of modern Carol.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
she
right.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she had a couple of interviews of like, look, if you don't like it, don't read my comics. They're not for you.
Yeah.
And
very, very reasonable take, I'd say.
that might as well have been, I'm going to murder your mother.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure why that was so controversial.
And it's not like there's even a character that she was immediately taking over for that everybody really liked.
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
it's
No,
like no one had been Captain Marvel for a while. You know.
If anything, it was I love Carol Danvers. I've loved her since House of M.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was.
That's when I first noticed her.
Miss Marvel was not being used really at all in modern comics, and then all of a sudden, in House of M, Brian Michael Bendis was like, "This is a dope ass character, and we're gonna give her a motivation."
So yeah, go ahead.
They literally gave her the motivation of in House of M alternate universe, she was one of the greatest superheroes.
She was like the Superman of Marvel.
And she remembers that alternate universe, and she's like, I'm not doing nearly enough.
Yeah, I need to up my game.
I need to be better me.
Yeah.
And that is such a great motivation. The series after that by Brian Reed, cool as hell. And then she got literally a new rank as a captain, so they made her Captain Marvel, and then Kelly Sue took over. She was the leader of the Avengers, too. Like, this is all cool. And then all of a sudden, it just,
Brie
I guess
Larson.
it became, it was slightly before Brie Larson
Was
also.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, she just became the poster child for woke?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So the comic is so fucking fun.
Yeah.
Like it is such a well done. The majority of the art so far is by Carmen Carnero, who's also a wonderful artist. She was doing Captain America recently. It is a top tier superhero book, and it doesn't get enough love. It's Captain Marvel by Kelly Thompson.
Yeah. I remember starting that run by Kelly Thompson because I do like her quite a bit. I would say I was reading the first story arc and I was like, oh boy,
I remember you telling me this.
the incels are going to hate this. Because I don't remember the name of the character. It is a character who'd been around previously.
Yeah.
And basically, he was like misogyny, the villain. Like he was just, his whole thing was like, he's a misogynist and like that's his power somehow or something like that. And
Is he like the guy in Mystery Men whose power was to get angry?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I could understand, like, if there are people who have that problem with that character, that is a rough start for them. Because even I was like, oh, that's a little strange. Like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. You know, they kind of hammered on it a bit too much.
Right.
But after that, we're introduced to a new family member. What was the one right before this series where she goes back home and she's living with
Life
her,
and
Life and Times of Captain Marvel. That's where I first jumped on the Captain Marvel ongoing series. I love her.
Trying to find the name of that character. He looks like Zardoz.
Yeah.
The Sean Connery movie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
Or there was a Supergirl character that looked like that too.
Yeah.
Who's come back
I don't remember.
a few times. He's all about love.
It's a wonderful comic.
No, it's great.
And I remember you telling me that, like, oh, the first arc's a little. I laughed a lot. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm
saying
stuff.
for dudes who are predisposed to hate this, and you're trying to get them to read it, you're gonna be see, I told you.
If you're predisposed to hating something, if you're predisposed to hating something that you've either never experienced and or ostensibly isn't for you, why? Like, stop.
Yeah.
Evangelize what you love. Stop wasting so much time on what you
Hate.
don't want or hate.
Yeah, or isn't
Just
for you.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say if you are interested in Captain Marvel, that you can't do much better than the Kelly Thompson run. So definitely check
it's
it out.
awesome. Absolutely
it's really good. I have been up to something this week.
What was it?
I ordered this. It's called an Ambernick. It's an emulator, I think they call it, and this is the Ambernick RG353V, and it was like $120, something like that. And
Cheap.
Yeah,
$120, you mean?
$120.
Oh, yeah.
But it's basically you can play Game Boy games, you can play Game Boy Advance, you can play Game Boy Color, you can play PSP. What was the other one? PlayStation games. There's like, I want to say 8 to 10 different game systems on here, and about 2,000 games already preloaded on it.
Do they have the Bono Sports game that was its own cartridge?
You know he doesn't know that answer to that
idea. I
question.
have no idea.
No, it definitely does. I was just trying to think of any of those old single
Oh, I see.
the ones that are.
It was just like blinking lights.
and it was only that game.
I remember that. Yeah.
There was no cartridges.
Sometimes there was you
Flip it over and there'd be another game. That was the bow one.
No. There was one where you could play each other.
What?
And you would each have a side. It was like a football version of that.
You'd each have a side.
You
That
could
sounds
each
cool.
Play each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've been
one of
having.
those.
I got this for my son Kai because he loves Mario Brothers, and I was like, 2,000 games for certain. There's Mario games on here because it's
No, man.
a Nintendo and not a single Mario game.
Oh no.
So I've
Those
been
were some of the
playing
best ones.
I've been playing the Ninja Gaiden
Cool.
on Super Nintendo, which is
Very
awesome.
cool.
The original Double Dragon,
Awesome.
Mega Man.
Cool.
I've been having a
Can you do
blast.
the cheat codes
Nintendo.
that you could do?
I believe so. Yeah.
Nintendo is notoriously litigious. I'm not surprised that there's Mario games on there.
Not Mario games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a couple of games?
Sure.
Do they have Marble Madness?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, they do.
That game is awesome.
That game's infuriating.
Oh, it took me so long. Like, I loved it. I played it. It's this very surreal geometric world.
Yeah.
And I played it, and I got through, several of the levels, but I could never really beat it when I was a kid. And
For anyone that isn't as old as us,
yeah.
can you describe Marble
The game
Madness?
itself?
Yes.
Sure. It's you move this little black marble around these sort of almost MC Escher-ish worlds. And I think as things move, you can move in different ways, and there's obstacles and what have you, and you control it with this 4-direction thing. So to slide the marble around with this was an interesting feat of skill.
Dexterity.
A test of dexterity, right? So, and I really enjoyed it. I love the aesthetic of it. I played it, and I could never get, past like whatever level. And one time in college, I got sick, and I sat there, and I played the game, and I honed my skills even more than they had been, and I finally beat the level that I had always gotten to, and it was the last level.
Oh, nice.
And I was expecting like 99 levels or something.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, oh, that was it.
I'm done.
So then, I played it a lot after that, and it was one of the few video games that I got really good at.
That's one of those games that would make me like throw the controller.
Oh, this would be the whole thing in this case.
Because I have to throw the whole thing.
Oh, you might never get it back.
So anyway, this is a bucket of fun. There's many different versions. You can get one that looks like an old Game Boy. You can get one that looks like a Super Nintendo controller, but it also has the screen in the middle. It's dope as hell. It's a lot of fun. Especially being an old head like me, I get to relive like my childhood, my early years.
Your early young childhood?
Yes.
Yeah. The middle JDN period.
The middle years.
Speaking of which, I just hurt my shoulder by existing. Hey, that's what we've been up to this week. Let's talk about our main topic, which is... Oh, wait. Are we going to start with Monarch Legacy of Monsters?
We're gonna whatever you want to do.
We're gonna start because it's in the notes. This guy's Monarch Legacy of Monsters, Episode 1 on Apple TV Plus, directed by Adam Shackman, created by Chris Black and Matt Fraction, comic book writer, starring Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell, Kiersey Clemens, and Anders Holm. After the world-shattering revelation that monsters are real, two siblings follow in their father's footsteps to uncover their family's connection to the secretive organization known as Monarch. I did not watch this, so you guys go ahead. What did you think, Brian?
I thought it was cool. There was the giant monsters were very cool, very well done, very big.
Yeah.
And, some bigger than others even.
Yeah.
And I am intrigued by this show.
Oh.
I found myself not paying attention at times, but I also watched it under the gun, I guess you should say. And so I had to watch it in chunks, or I resorted to that, and was really trying to squeeze in as much as I could before the show. There were times when I was like, I got through most of the second episode, and I had to come here and do the show. And they start with a flashback of the earlier time in the beginning of the second episode, and I'm like, now we got to find out how they got to the position they were in at the start of the show. All right.
Wait, wow, okay.
But I also found myself wondering, does it fit into an established Godzilla? Did that event take place?
Oh.
The San Francisco thing?
Yep.
That was a movie that happened. Okay. I was not sure. And, it's fine. We don't see a lot of the Godzilla stuff. We see a lot of the ramifications, psychological difficulties of the Godzilla stuff, right? Yeah. Wyatt Russell is always awesome. He's great.
I think it's really cute that Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell play the same character in different times.
And they can never meet or have a scene together.
Oh,
they must show up to work at completely different times. Yeah. Maybe they will.
Maybe they high five on their way. Two
out.
ships passing in the night, high fiving.
Like a Morning Sam, Morning Ralph thing, but happy.
Yeah.
Because they work. They work in split shifts. One of them has to work overnight because this can never not be being filmed. Overall, I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. There were some ups and downs, but it was cool.
Peaks and valleys?
You could say that.
Yeah, I did. Noel.
It's a very strong show.
How many did you watch? Just the first one?
Just the first one.
Okay, cool. Cool.
It's a very strong show. It's the production value is very high, especially for a television show. And it's setting up compelling enough story between the raindrops of just big monsters, including the Monarch of it all. Like, Monarch is an organization that's introduced in Godzilla 2014. Godzilla Gods and Monsters. What's the second one called? Destroy All Monsters? No, Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, it's probably that.
And there's a King Kong one after that?
Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
Monarch is the secret organization that's like cataloging and controlling and funded for all these things. It's setting up multiple, like, this organization's been around since the 50s, technically. So it's setting up how an organization like this can go from, so at the beginning of Skull Island,
yes,
they're begging, this was, Matt Fraction brought this up in an interview. They're begging for like money just to get a helicopter.
I remember there's like a long...
But then like 25 years before that, they're incredibly well funded and they're cataloging all these like occurrences.
25 years before.
Yeah.
So they
in the
lose
50s.
funding at some
Yeah.
point.
But then by the second Godzilla movie,
They're back.
they're basically more affluent or they have much more control and bigger funding and like all kinds of crazy shit. So like it's the trajectory of this organization going up and down over the course of the last 60 years and why and how, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. It's taking... I would have been annoyed. I would have been annoyed if it was just a half-assed recreation of monsters fighting each other every week.
Yeah.
It's a compelling enough narrative that I'm digging.
It's a human story.
Yeah.
Right. Now, in this world, the kaiju have been around all along, right? They're awoken by the atomic bomb, or Godzilla is.
Titans have been around forever.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the earth.
Okay.
Some of them are attracted to nuclear radiation.
Mm-hmm.
It's hypothesized. It's hypothesized that they are the Earth's response to a radiation.
Oh.
High levels of radiation.
And they come out and they eat it.
Yep.
All right.
They absorb it, eat it, or change
pretty
it.
good.
So like in the first Godzilla movie, the Mutos, I forget what they're called that.
Oh, yeah, it's an acronym.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like short for mutation or
Yeah.
slang for
They're
yeah.
like they are attracted to
something
places.
terrestrial,
yeah. They're like in the first movie they're attracted
unknown
they're
terrestrial, massive unknown terrestrial organism.
something like that.
Something. It's not massive.
Either way, they're attracted to large places of radiation, and
Yeah.
Godzilla needs to because they're gonna mate or some bullshit like that. But yeah, I think it's a very strong opening for a show. It is structured like a comic book in the narrative of like it's very episodic and it's very like cliffhangery. Massive unidentified terrestrial organisms. Thank you, Dane
Oh, that was it.
Zudnowski.
Nice, thank you.
Dane had mentioned we were in the shop the other day talking about this, and yes, so Matt Fraction is a co-creator of the show. They were given carte blanche by Toho to use. They were told they could only use specific kaiju that are already pre-established, but they were given carte blanche to create other kaiju if they want to. So Matt Fraction told this really great story about how he basically paid his teenage son like $5-10 a file. I did it with air quotes, a file of monsters of new kaiju. Because he was just like, my son is the kind of kid that like comes at you with fun facts, but the facts are always fucking terrifying. like, fun fact, Dad, mantises eat the heads of their crazy shit. They're not fun. So he was just like, I'll give him money and like go do your own research and come at me with like new monsters and create like a file for them. Fun facts about these monsters, and they've made it to the show.
That's awesome. That's adorable. I love it.
So like the
How old is the kid?
now he's like 13, 14, 15.
So he only gets $5 or $10.
They've been making this show has been this show's been in
I was thinking
development.
that.
The show has been in development for like 6 years.
Yeah.
All right.
Like they started all that shit and planning the show
Yeah.
when he was like 10.
Yeah. That's
But
cute.
still, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a strong show. I like it. I like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
I watched the first 4 minutes of the show where we have what's his nuts from Roseanne, Dan,
John
Yeah.
Goodman.
John Goodman,
whom we
shows
do
up.
not see die.
That's true.
You know? Yeah. He was dodging those legs.
Watch Skull Island.
Did we see him die?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I was.
Well,
I
he could be in more of this.
Yeah.
I was.
So-
I was impressed by the CG of the big spider.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
expensive looking show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Then some
so-
other thing came out of the ground. That was cool.
Oh, that was a thing. Yeah, that
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it
a
was really
monster
big.
and it fought that other monster.
and he already threw the thing, and he was like, I could have held the
I
thing.
should have kept the thing. MacGuffin, come back. I need you. So yeah, I am 100% going to watch Monarch. Let me ask you this real quick. Monarch, is that from the original continuity stuff, or is
No,
this all brand new?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
What Godzilla stuff have you seen?
I have seen Godzilla Kill All Monsters. It's part of the
wait.
original Toho, Johns. I saw it at the
Destroy All
24-hour
Monsters.
Destroy All Monsters. I saw it at the 24-hour horror movie marathon. They'll play a bunch of horror movies, and then around like 2 or 4 in the morning, they'll just be like, "Here's a Godzilla movie."
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, I've never watched one. Let me check it out." It was cute, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and it was still cute.
Huh.
But I saw the one with Matthew Broderick. Was not
Godzilla
impressed.
98?
I
Was
remember
not
that one.
impressed. Not
I
impressed.
enjoyed that
I
one.
rewatched it not too long ago. Actually,
that's
over the
right.
holiday weekend, we
Yeah.
rewatched
I was
it.
like, that was cute.
My
And then I was
sister-in-law,
done.
my sister-in-law is obsessed with disaster movies.
Yeah.
So we always when like on the background, she'll put on disaster movies, and go-tos of hers are 2012, Day After Tomorrow, and Moonfall. All Roland Emmerich movies, like Independence Day.
Yeah.
So I was like, what about Godzilla 98? Like, I think I saw it. I'm like,
Click.
See it again.
everyone complained in the first 5 minutes, why are we watching this? This is stupid. Why are we watching this? Everyone was raptured in the middle of the movie.
You mean they were sent to heaven? Like they're clothes? Just they were just piles of clothes.
They
Yeah.
ascended.
Noel was
Yeah.
left behind.
They ascended, and I was left on this earth
Yeah.
to prove
Kept
my
your
way.
clothes.
In a walking limbo because it was my choice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
put on-
interesting.
yeah.
So this is just the beginning for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why are you guys still
You
here?
have to podcast your way to heaven.
Yeah.
And then I
Fucking
saw
heathens.
what was it? I saw the other Godzilla, 2014 Godzilla, and I was bored out of my nuts.
Fucking love
What was that
movie,
Godzilla?
too.
That was the one with
Bryan Cranston
Aaron
and-
Taylor
Oh,
Johnson,
right.
and
I
Bryan
saw that one.
Cranston
I
was in
enjoyed that
like
one.
5 minutes of it,
Yeah.
and then Godzilla shows up
Spoilers.
in the last 5 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was just a scene of him having tea.
yeah, he's
With-
with a pinky up, which I respected.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a pinky.
And then I saw. Oh,
I reject
saw
I reject your assessments of that movie.
Skull.
I liked it
That's
actually.
okay.
I was just
Yeah,
Skull Island.
2014 was a really strong movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. Skull Island, I loved.
Mm-hmm.
I
With
was
Jack
not-
Black?
No,
No.
that's King Kong.
That was King Kong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
But
That's Peter Jackson's
they're
King
both
Kong.
very
I was
big.
not expecting to care about a Kong movie because I've never been historically a Kong guy, and
And did
I
you?
thought it was awesome. Especially that spider scene.
I like it in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel Jackson, Toby Cabell,
Just a fun action romp, man. I love it.
the guy from Step Brothers,
Will Ferrell?
the other one.
What is his name?
I don't know.
I'm well familiar with his name and some of his work, and he goes by 3 names routinely.
Okay.
Anyway, it was awesome. Is my point.
Cool. How long have Kong and Godzilla been in a
Shared universe.
shared universe? Yeah.
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
10 years.
And then I
more or
saw
less.
Godzilla versus Kong, and I thought that was just awesome.
Nice.
So yeah,
Nice.
I'm kind of on board for the new Godzilla movies.
Cool.
The new American versions.
Mm-hmm.
I have Shin Godzilla. I bought it on DVD for like $10. I haven't watched it yet. I'm like 10 minutes into it.
John C. Riley. Thank you,
That's the
Dane.
guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dane.
John C. Riley.
Middle initial.
Yeah. Also, was
stands for
Eddie
something.
Madison said, I went to see Silent Night, which I'm very excited to see, Eddie. So I'm glad you said it was good. But let's talk about Godzilla Minus One, which is not a part of this American continuity with Kong and Godzilla and all
Or
this other
Shin
stuff.
Godzilla.
Or Shin Godzilla, it's true. The Godzilla I'm used to is almost a playful kind of movie where, there is a lot of
Yeah,
devastation. There's a
Right,
lot
right.
of buildings being knocked over, but it's more spectacle and fun and
You don't see the cost of it.
popcorny. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a hard time separating myself from that in any movie. If a building is being knocked over, it hits me in the heart a little bit where I'm like, oh, that is awful. And there's probably people in there, that sort of thing. But I know with these types of movies, you're supposed to just be like, no,
there weren't any people.
he's a big kooky lizard guy. Isn't he cute?
Yeah. And there weren't any people in reality. So any kind of universe can exist where that building is empty.
Yeah, sure.
There's just not a lot of people in that world.
And then Godzilla Minus One happened, and it was not that. It was so not that. Noel had tweeted about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember your tweet?
Yeah. After I saw it, it was actually, I could pull it up. You go ahead, keep
So
talking.
I went in knowing that it was going to be something slightly different than I was expecting
Because
with my previous experience with Godzilla as sort of like fun popcorn.
Yeah.
And like, look, they're slugging each other and monsters are fighting. This is a blast. So I saw Noel's tweet, and so I was a little bit more prepared. I was still not adequately prepared for this movie. And the fact that I was a mess at the end, I cried. There was a period of this film where I remembered, oh, right. And then there's a Godzilla's going to happen. Right. It's not just a World War II drama, a human drama.
Yeah. I posted, I watched a harrowing and effective period drama about PTSD, survivor's guilt, and found family in a post-World War II ravaged, war-torn Japan. And Godzilla.
Yeah.
5 stars.
That is a perfect tweet to sum up this movie.
Yeah, it's a real movie.
Yeah.
And Godzilla is really frightening.
Yep.
Yeah. It was 5 stars, man. This was the coolest thing I've seen. One of the coolest things I've seen this year.
I went home last night to tell Sushan about it, and I was like, it was a legit film with stakes and emotional beats, and for the first time, human characters that I cared about. Every other Godzilla movie, I'm sitting there looking at my watch, waiting for the human stuff to get through, so we can get to the Godzilla stuff.
Right. These people are like talking about their office life, and then like they're just kind of doing whatever, and then you see Godzilla come in.
Yeah. It's like, I'm just here for Godzilla. But this one, I was so enamored and immediately swept up in the drama of what was happening with this gentleman. And we're not going to spoil it, but I'm at a lack because I was so struck by the film.
It's very good. The main character is a failed kamikaze pilot. So the movie starts in the last days of World War II. They already know the war is over or is ending. However, it's the early 40s, so it's not like it's an immediate turn-off switch. It's just, a slow trod until they get orders to cease. So there's the last day's missions, and this one pilot who was conscripted to be a kamikaze pilot. For those that don't know, kamikaze pilots are literally people that are ordered to commit suicide by jamming their plane into a target.
Yep.
And it's considered a very honorable thing in that culture. The movie starts with him having technical difficulty landing on a small island to get it serviced, and all of the servicemen who are working on his plane don't find a damn thing wrong with it. He essentially chickened out and doesn't want to get back in the plane and has, essentially forfeited all of his honor. And then that small island gets attacked by Godzilla at the very beginning of the movie. And it is fucking frightening.
Yep.
It is very scary and very jarring. And he is the only, him and another mechanic are the only survivors. And the story is that it was attacked in the last days of the war and blah, blah, blah. He goes home a failure who lost his family, lost his house, lost literally everything. And people treat him like shit because he didn't do his duty in the war. So that's their starting point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's the first 10 minutes of the movie.
it just goes from there of you're deeply invested in this man who has night terrors every night, PTSD. He stumbles into a
Found
family. Yeah, a beggar and her child, infant child that he finds out is not even her child, and this woman just because their parents got killed. This woman just stays at his house.
Oh, and this
Uninvited.
is in a Japanese village that has been bombed.
Yeah.
So he comes home from war, and his entire village is in rubble. And his parents are dead. Most of his neighbors are dead. It's
a shanty town. And when I say his home, it's literally a shack, some like cardboard and doors put up. So the whole first act of this movie is rebuilding.
Yep.
Like him having to find a job, him allowing them to stay because he's not going to kick a small child out, and then just like slowly rebuilding. And I think a year passes, and they show you how much is built in the house, and
then another year passes.
Yeah, like it is a slow, introspective movie about this man who is deeply troubled by all the people that died because he went there to like get his plane fixed. And oh, that's right, the other person that survived, when they were on the boat getting home and they're both like shell shocked, he gives them an envelope and you don't know what that envelope is. It just freaks him out. It's everyone else, all of the other mechanics that got killed, it's all of their pictures of their families. So this dude has everyone's like memories and family members.
Why does he give him that?
Because they're all dead.
Him.
He blames
him.
Why?
Spoilers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just
It just doesn't go well.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So he's carrying the guilt of like 10 other people, and it just goes from there. It was a very harrowing movie.
Yeah.
But so fucking good.
I want just talking about it now. I wish I was back in the theater watching it again.
It's good.
It's such a spectacular film.
Oh,
It's
and then
expertly handled in every capacity.
so like the 1940s of it all. I did wonder like, well, what are they gonna do? Because this version of Godzilla immediately regenerates.
Yeah. Does he not usually do that?
It's usually not like depicted as much. It's just he takes a lot of damage and great.
Yeah.
But like they
My man's
literally
like
show
Deadpool.
him. They literally show him
Oh.
like half of his face gets blown off, and it just goes. So like, it's the 40s. They ain't got no technology other than like landmines and rifles.
What if we shoot it?
Yeah.
And it eats their most powerful, recently developed weapon.
It's true. Yeah.
So the whole movie, I'm wondering like, what the fuck are they gonna do?
And then the plan they come up with, I kind of
I'm
go,
like, awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a great plan.
It is
not
like,
going to work
No.
because it's Godzilla. But you guys thought of a good plan.
No, but it's just like there's plan 1 and then plan 2 and then plan 3, and I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
It's not unlike I I say it too much, but I love the term.
Top Gun?
Competence porn.
Ah.
Yes. In Top Gun.
I was thinking of that too.
Top Gun Maverick, where they tell you the whole goddamn movie what the plan is. So by the time it's happening, you know when it's not working, you know what they have to achieve, and you know the stakes. It literally sets that up for the whole second half of the movie, and you're like, I hope he lives, or oh my God, what are they going to do? Like, that's their contingency plan. We're screwed. It is such an emotionally effective movie.
Yeah, I love when you're in on the plan. And then can watch it fall
like
apart
the
in real time.
machinations and-
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. I was thinking of you watching that. I'm like, oh, Noel loves this.
Oh yeah.
Dane says yes to all of that, and I think they use the musical score effectively to set the tone. Absolutely.
They use the theme. They use the official Godzilla theme. The dun-dun-dun-dun.
Even I knew.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there it is. Yeah.
Godzilla theme?
There's
Oh, yeah,
Godzilla
man.
theme.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
It's along the lines of, I would say, John Williams' Jaws theme. It's very sort of low.
Deep.
It's deep and rumbly and
Oh, yeah. Like there's something big coming.
not a lot to it.
We play during
kind of bare bones.
at our wedding, at my wedding.
Played the Godzilla
Not with
theme.
these guys. I'm married to someone else. At our wedding,
Just one person.
during cocktail hour, we made the playlist for cocktail hour all movie scores. So there would be, like in the back, subtly in the background was just like the Jaws theme, the E.T., Jurassic Park, and I put Godzilla in there. And only one person was just like, is that Godzilla? I was like, absolutely.
Yes, you goddamn right.
And get another drink.
You've earned it.
Yeah, you've earned this.
Do
I
we want to talk spoilers? Should we do a spoiler section? Or are we good?
no.
Okay.
I mean, there's like a tag at the end that it's irrelevant. They could never do a sequel to this, or they could do a sequel, and that's fine.
Here's the thing. In the same way that I saw the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and I thought, this is not the kind of movie that will turn into MTV, Freddie wearing the shades, having a good time, hanging out with Spuds McKenzie. What?
Did that happen?
Sort of.
Is that
Not Spuds, but like the other
He
stuff.
did introduce videos.
Did
Yeah.
he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like no way
Your
is
favorite
this
child murderer.
this
is now on
Jackie
MTV.
He is up there.
Child murderer seems okay, but Jackie O'Hurley, who's a literal pedophile, the character is a pedophile in this version.
Not the actor.
Yeah, no. Although he has played a couple of them.
Well, that is a very different.
That's
thing.
the actor.
I'm just saying.
The actor still is not.
He's not a pedophile
Just
that we know of.
The name of the character is Jerry.
They explicit. So in the original,
Jackie Earl Haley
Oh,
is
Jackie
the
Earle Haley.
actor.
I'm not sure where you're going with this. However, in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, they were very vague as to what his crimes are. Just that children got murdered. In the remake,
They lean heavily
explicitly-
on the kid sex.
yeah.
Like
yeah?
he
I've never seen
loves
a single
having
entire
sex with
movie of
kids.
those.
So I watching that, I'm like, well, okay, we're not going to get a franchise out of this. Like this isn't. You're not going to get McDonald's toys of this guy. Same thing with this Godzilla, where I'm like, this is a very different vibe than all the Godzillas I'm used to. If they do a sequel, it'll be hard pressed to make a franchise out of it. Especially one where he's like, I'm teaming up with other monsters now, and we're having a blast.
I guess so.
Do you think?
I don't. I don't want them to. There's room to. But to me, so some people would watch. There's a little bit of a tag before the credits. Some people would watch that and be like, oh, I can't wait till Godzilla 1 or 0. Godzilla 0.
this is
It's
minus
Godzilla
1,
0.
Yeah.
You're right.
I see it as it's more of a message in the narrative that this kind of threat, this kind of trauma, this kind of metaphor or allegory or whatever it is never actually has an end. It never actually has a finish line. It just has pauses, because that's how trauma works. Like, it doesn't go away. You just deal with it, and/or it comes in phases or waves. So the idea that Godzilla could return is more, to me, it was more metaphorical. But they could just do another movie. I don't know. I don't know if I can't imagine it would be as strong as this. So Shin Godzilla, which I loved, very different movie, was one of the most financially well-received Godzilla movies.
Oh yeah.
Just period. And it never got a sequel. So like Toho does have a history, or at least a precedent of, we're going to try something, knock it out of the park, and then the next one's going to be a fucking weird, playful one. Like, they're not unlike in America,
Beholden
where
to
when
a
one
continuity.
thing works, they decide to just burn it into the ground.
Yeah.
Toho doesn't necessarily always work with that. Yeah, they're not beholden to necessarily any kind of continuity, and they usually are willing to take like little risks in different types of themes and movies.
Do they make all of the Godzilla movies? Because
In-
apparently Japanese copyright law is different, and you cannot reproduce somebody else's work, but you can tell a story with referencing any IP or
That's neat.
yeah, like
Not know
all of
that.
I think all of the Power Rangers. I think all of them were made by different companies.
Huh.
Another one was just like, we're gonna tell a Power Ranger story.
Ah,
Yeah, I
That's
think
neat.
so. Yeah, I heard
I
this
had no
many
idea.
years ago,
Yeah.
and I don't think I've heard it since. So could be wrong, but check it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. Google that.
Yeah, I mean, you should do that anyway, right? Just
Google
believe
stuff.
facts.
I think
You know?
Toho just it owns all of the Godzilla of it all, and they license it to Legendary for other countries.
I gotcha.
So all the American movies are explicitly Toho friendly.
And Godzilla is usually some sort of protector or anti-hero in the later ones.
Yes.
Is that why
Later
he?
ones.
Is that
Yes.
the deal? That's how he
Godzilla's
continues to star in movies.
Like
and-
a force
okay.
of nature,
I gotcha.
and he's just chaotic neutral. I would
Okay.
say. Yeah, chaotic neutral is the best way to put it. I mean, in the most, at least for the trailer for the new movie, Godzilla and Kong, he's a little bit more chaotic good, but he's still not like a high five, debrief teammate.
Right.
It's just more.
Yeah.
But no, he's usually like at most he's the lesser of two evils.
Is
in
Kong
a
the
movie.
greater of two evils in those?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, Kong is just a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kong's the good guy.
Kong is the good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's not the bad guy.
Right.
No.
Okay.
You
Godzilla
guys were
is-
having two conversations. The greater of two evils
That's-
being worse.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
more evil because
Yeah, yeah.
he's the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, yeah.
Godzilla.
Godzilla. No.
Who's the lesser of two evils?
Godzilla.
No.
Noel disagrees.
You think Godzilla's the good guy?
You're talking explicitly versus Kong? No. In other movies where Godzilla is with other monsters, usually he's
Okay.
the lesser of two evils
Yeah.
that they just
Alright.
set up to fight the greater threat.
I gotcha.
Yes.
But he is not like I'll get this one for you,
Right.
champ.
Right. But the
Like-
conversation at hand, Kong versus Godzilla, Kong's the good guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Technically.
Yeah.
Technically. Neither one is really looking out for you.
That's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're both like, fuck these guys.
Yeah.
These guys suck.
They say that while they're fighting.
Yeah.
These guys though, right? But I
these
am
fucking
gonna.
guys-
We're gonna keep fighting, but
Yeah.
we can agree on
Let's have a beer real quick.
this.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Godzilla Minus One other than I want to see it again. I'm sad that I'm not watching it right now. Ray asked, well, if I was going to go to the movies this weekend, should I see The Marvels or should I see Godzilla Minus One? And I was like, there's no way to answer that question because it really depends on, those are very different things.
What mood are you in? Would be an
Right.
important.
If you
aspect.
want like super kind of like cheesy, fun superhero stuff, you can go see
Godzilla.
the Marvels.
Right.
But if you want to maybe be sad, but
I don't know if I'd sell it that way.
I would.
Heavily
If you
emotional.
want to be sad,
It's pretty sad, man.
I know it's a
It's
sad
sad
movie,
stuff.
but I wouldn't like, hey, look, you got to go see this. You want to get sad? Let's go.
Let's get
Like,
sad.
You want to
just
get
feel-
sad?
let's
Come
get
on.
sad.
I just
Let's
feel
get sad.
I feel like that's not the best way to
Line,
sell.
right?
Like it is an emotional movie. It's
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah.
It's a different experience than popcorn happiness with
Yeah.
the Marvels.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like,
I had
it's
popcorn,
real
but I
sad.
wasn't
Have a
happy.
good one.
That's not the
Yeah.
defining
Yeah.
aspect
Yeah,
of the.
it's-
Yeah.
Go see Godzilla Minus One, y'all. Go get sad.
Yeah.
I just briefly want to talk about the Godzilla's awesome.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Glad we covered it.
And that's it.
All right,
That was
great.
brief.
Now, Godzilla, the malleability of an IP that is 60 years old
Yeah.
is just so great. There are so many flavors of Godzilla, and we are fucking spoiled.
When the very first Godzilla came out, 50 something stuff.
1954.
Did you see that?
I've seen it. I wasn't alive
You
in
didn't see it at that
1954.
time. Or maybe you
Yeah.
will have seen it at
It is
that
not the
time.
first
Time
Godzilla
travel
I've
becomes
seen,
a
but
thing.
it wasn't the first Godzilla I saw, but I've seen.
Was that original Godzilla in line with Godzilla Minus One, where he's sort of a force of nature. He's a bad guy. Everyone's terrified, and he f's
Yeah.
up Japan.
It was an allegory for
Like
the
this.
nuclear bomb.
For the
yeah.
Right.
Okay, I was just curious. That's,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
sort of that's what
Back
I
off.
Yeah, you're not fucking stupid. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, sure, great.
Oh God, damn it!
It did start as a woke movie about about nuclear proliferation.
Yeah, commentary on
it
dangers
was.
and
I
evil
think it's-
events.
Wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is woke. I hate it.
Godzilla,
I didn't
You
have-
know what? Godzilla has been woke
Shit.
since fucking Jump, and everyone that's freaking out about it now, I control enjoy your tears. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Yeah.
Like it's literally been this for the whole time.
Yeah. But go on. Do you have anything else to say
Oh
about
no,
the
I feel like we are
the
very
longevity and
as the resident Godzilla fan, we are fucking spoiled.
Yeah.
We have a top tier Apple TV Plus show with high budget, 4 American theatrical edition or theatrical movies so far, with a 5th one coming.
I like his design in the Americans too.
I do too.
In both of 'em.
his dumpy trunk, like just the,
He's got the
he's very thick.
he's triple thick.
Yeah.
3 C's.
3 C's. It's
And
thick
also
boy.
the CGI.
It's good.
There are times where they hone it. They have a close up of his eyes, and I'm like, that looks real.
And then you've got Toho, on the other hand, doing fun experimental stuff with like Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla, for those that don't know, it is a movie about the struggles of a bureaucracy. With
And Godzilla works
With
there.
Godzilla.
Yeah,
That's a bureaucracy.
like Godzilla's in the mailroom.
Yeah. Actually, his arms are very tiny, so a lot of the movie is him trying to just put on a tie.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. Like before he gets
and
to
then
work
getting yelled
in the
out by his
morning.
boss because his tie's not straight.
laid it down.
Shin Godzilla
Yeah.
is such a weird movie. It is the force of nature. Godzilla shows up, but he shows up in different phases because he's metamorphosizing the whole movie.
Yeah.
So at first it's just like a weird snake thing that kind of
I love the
havoc.
design.
and every time he goes dormant and comes back, he's a little bit different until he gets his
How
final
long
form.
does
He's
this
like 4 times
take? Like
over the
years.
course-
Like,
in the course of the movie. It's
but
only a
I
couple
mean, it's
of
like
weeks.
not backstory. It's like
No.
during this time.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
it's just like it's like a remake or a new version of
Hmm.
in modern time. But the majority of the movie is how a government handles this kind of moving target, this kind of like developing event that is collapsing buildings at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's all big white rooms, computers, and bureaucrats
Yeah.
arguing with each other
Different sections of government all in the same room arguing about what to do.
and then what to do and what not to do in order to like not piss off the Americans or this. Like it's
Right,
a
right.
global crazy
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah, yeah.
and it seems like it would be boring, but it's so fucking cool.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I'm in the middle of watching it now, and that's 100% correct. Much to my surprise, because I was like, "Oh, there's just a lot of meetings in this movie. You guys are just chatting
Yeah,
a lot."
Just like
And,
an Aaron
you know,
Sorkin.
he's out there, like,
Aaron
stomping.
Sorkin
And,
Godzilla.
yeah.
Also, it's like where they put the camera is almost more fun than the actual movie. So like it'll be like I'm at my computer. The wide angle lens is right here,
Yeah.
so it's all framed of just like the side of someone's face.
They
Or
did that with
it's-
Shin Ultraman
yeah,
too.
Yeah, it's just a normal like desk with an important man, but the camera in a normal movie it'd be a wide shot of just establishing the whole thing. The camera's like on the floor underneath and looking
That's
up
cool.
at him. Like it's
Well, I like
just-
that kind of stuff.
it's such
Yeah,
an
me too.
incredibly dynamic, weird movie.
What is this Shin? There's Shin Ultraman.
No idea.
I have no idea.
No clue.
It's a descriptor.
Sure.
Sure, I have no
Alright.
idea.
It's not the
Couldn't tell
company.
you.
No.
You know what?
All right.
I have another question.
Right in.
Why is this called Godzilla Minus One?
Nope.
No idea.
There were 2. There were going to be 2.
Yeah. And they're like,
And,
"Oh, we lost one."
And it was like
One dropped out.
it was going to be called Godzilla's. Now, yeah.
Dane says, kudos for having Mecha Godzilla on the table in front of you. That 1974 Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla is one of my favorites. Looking through, I had no idea. Looking through the list of all the Godzillas, there's apparently a Space Godzilla.
Space
yeah, yeah.
Godzilla.
Godzilla versus Space Godzilla.
What's
Yeah.
he doing? Where's he?
He's probably
He's
under,
got
probably
like
in the
cool
water.
geodes on his
Huh.
shoulders.
Wanders in space sometimes.
So Shin, producer,
Yes.
the producer stated that the title Shin Gojira was chosen for the film due to the variety of meanings it conveys. So depending on vernacular, Shin could mean new, true, or God.
Oh, I like.
Okay.
Also confirmed that the
Very
film
interesting.
has been planned for quite some time, stating it's been in the works for a long time. Yeah, Shin meaning just new, God, true,
God tier.
That's
God tier.
fascinating that one word can, in different connotations, can mean new and true.
Yeah.
like newly uncovered knowledge, or that is.
That's kind of the
accurate or
cool thing
something.
about their language is
Very
that
interesting.
you'll have the same pictograph and at very slight deviations.
Well,
You've
it's-
got an entirely different word.
The pictographs are different, but probably the context and how it's used.
In
Like
Spokane.
it's always
Well,
spoken
that's
as
one-
shin, but the pictograph is like determines
that's
the
true.
context.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if this is related to that, but that's one element of a pictographic language is that it is very difficult to change or evolve. Like we can write anything that we can say, any new word that we come up with, we can write down. Whereas in a pictographic language, it is
That's it.
not.
That's all
right?
you got.
They can create new ones and do, I think, in Chinese and Japanese and all of those, or Mandarin and Japanese and all of those. But it's like a process that needs to be disseminated and in some cases controlled. But so that might be one of the reasons that they're the same.
But anyway, I want to go finish Shin Godzilla and I want to watch Monarch, the TV show.
It's all good stuff. Godzilla is the shit.
I feel like I'm experiencing and enjoying new things in just the past couple of weeks. Like I'm going to be watching more Doctor Who because of you guys,
Awesome.
because of the
Yeah.
show. I'm going to be watching more Godzilla because of
Cool.
this show. So thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, hang on. For Godzilla Minus One, the title in one of the trailers, I said Japan went from 0 to -1 after the atomic bomb.
Oh,
Oh. Thank
So
you,
it's-
Dane.
there you go.
It's
My
just a-
flippant
Dane
answer
should have been
was-
on the show.
It's just a cool way of saying post World War II
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Dane, did you see it? Did you like it?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right, because he thought the musical score effectively set the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, Godzilla's dope. First Godzilla I saw was Godzilla 1985.
Which one was? Is that Toho?
Came out in 1985. It was the American
Oh, it was American.
It was American
remake of a Toho. So like it was.
Was it Man in Suit?
It was Man in Suit.
Oh.
And basically all they did was like buy the movie and then put American actors.
Oh, really?
Refilmed some scenes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sort of like Power Rangers.
I was getting
actually.
ready to say Power Rangers. Yeah.
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 Is it worthwhile? Have you revisited it?
I have not revisited it. I remember the very beginning scaring me. Always skipped the very beginning because they like come across a submarine and there's dead bodies on it, and then like the reveal is that they turn the chair over and the guy's like sunken, grotesque face. Then I skipped that part, and then after that it's just Godzilla. It's great.
Okay.
How did Godzilla result in them?
I think he
Something like
sunk
that.
the boat,
Oh,
and they
gotcha.
all just like
gotcha.
deteriorated.
Yeah.
I think
Who
it's
knows?
been a long time.
All right.
But yeah,
Been a long,
Godzilla's the shit.
lonely time.
Godzilla's awesome. Everyone watch more Godzilla.
First Godzilla I saw was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster
The
in the
Smog
theater,
Monster.
says Robert Monroe Jr.
We're all my
Is that
Jet
an anti-smoking
Jaguar
PSA?
fans. Anyone? Jet Jaguar?
Jet Jaguar?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Who's this person?
He's like an Ultraman, right?
He's like an Ultraman that fights.
He's a character.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That fights Gojira.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he originally part of a different film thing, and then they were just like, "Oh, we'll come up with a superhero type
There's
character."
There's like 35, 40 Godzilla movies. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
It's just they're all crazy.
I'm not going
I
to
didn't know
watch
they had
all
any
of
human
those.
people.
I'll be honest.
You're not gonna watch all
I'm not going to watch all those Godzilla
of those movies.
But I might go rewatch some of the newer ones.
All right.
How many Godzilla
What do you define
movies
as newer?
are
56.
there?
1996.
38.
Da! What?
We just had a lot of different numbers.
He said, how many Godzillas are there? I guessed 56,
56.
and he said 38.
There are 38, 33 Japanese films and 5 American films, all of which were produced by TriStar. Yeah.
Right on. All right, guys. Email us at coldpopgo@gmail.com and let us know what you thought of Godzilla Minus One or just Godzilla. What's
Yeah.
your favorite Godzilla movie? I don't know what it is, so you tell me.
Or anything.
or
Let us know
you
about
know what?
anything.
I'm just waiting for emails. I'm just constantly refreshing.
Yeah. You can just set up an alert.
Nah.
It's not like it was.
Anyway,
What's up?
bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Hey, don't forget to listen to Fresh Floppies every
Oh, yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah, do that.
Fresh Floppies is a comic book podcast that Noel and I do on Wednesday mornings that we spoiler-free discuss comic books that come out that week.
It's a true story.
Don't forget to text me if you have my number already
Yeah.
and you want to say something. Don't forget
Yeah,
that.
that you can do that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. And Criterion has a great Godzilla box set.
Wait, Robert Monroe? I have almost bought that like 1,000 times.
Oh.
But I always stop myself when I realize / read that they don't have the dubbed versions of the movies. And I know subtitles, great. I want the dubbed
dubbed
versions of these movies
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those are the ones I watched on, WGN on Saturday afternoon.
You're used to that part of the experience. You
I
want
want
Sure,
the dubbed
yeah.
movies,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're not available on that Criterion collection. That's why I
not a Criterion.
Always don't
Classic
get it.
fan, is it?
He said,
Get it in-
He doesn't care.
He
Get
doesn't
it.
care.
He says, get it.
fine.
All right.
Just get it.
It's the Showa era. Yeah.
All right, guys. Love you. Bye. Mwah.
Do do do.